Please welcome back Dalei Zhang. All right. So I think that this film is a very refreshing and intelligent take on the coming-of-age film. So I was hoping you could say a bit about your attraction to the genre, as well as maybe you could talk a bit about the autobiographical aspects of the film.
我觉得就是讲，首先，比如说自传类型的电影或文学作品，或者是讲述孩子成长的，或者社会变化的这样的题材或者是电影，其实并不新鲜。就首先这不是一个新鲜的东西，这已经有很多电影都是这样。至于说我为什么选择说我自己的事儿，或者说，一个孩子成长的故事这是我的第一部电影。我觉得我应该是从我自己熟悉的事情开始讲起，这样我会比较有感觉、有亲切感，而且也比较有把握吧。我就先说这个。
So this is a sort of a autobiographical film, but this is, the genre is not new, or like the film of autobiography and about social change and the coming of age is not really new. But for me, it's such a personal take because this is my first film, and it will be something that I can attach my feelings to, and I will be more sure of.
而且，关于这样的电影风格，除了它是我喜欢的一种风格和节奏之外，因为这种风格也不是我创造的，也不新鲜，好多电影都这样。我之所以选择这样的风格和讲述的节奏，或者是语言，是因为就是一个作品，其实大家看到的就是作者本身，所以这个电影跟我差不多，是我的节奏。然后，我在看这个电影的时候，或者是我在创作剧本的时候，我眼前或者是我的印象里面，其实是在呈现着一个我熟悉的过去，但是，当我想要去触碰的时候，想要去把它拉近的时候，却觉得，就这一切又是陌生的。所以这种感觉，我特别希望能够，就不是说我能够，我本身就感觉和我的记忆和我过往的生活是有一些距离的，就也可能是因为有距离，我才会把它看得更清楚，或者是能够不至于夸大什么，或者是遗失什么。所以我愿意保持这样的一个距离感，所以这就是大家看到影片里面呈现的一个观点，也就是它的风格。
So the style of this film is clearly not new, and I didn't make them up. A lot of such films exist, but when I was writing the film and also when I was creating the concepts, I was thinking about my past memories that were familiar to me. And such familiar past, actually, when I was trying to write them out, I was standing at a distance, and such distance makes me neutral in terms of writing things out. And I will be able to look at them in a neutral way that I'm not exaggerating or twisting the facts of the past. And such distance actually is presented in the film, and that is what makes the style of the film.
I'd like to ask about the visual aesthetic. It's the cinematography and the mise en scène in the film are quite precise, and you make a number of very interesting visual choices, often showing us objects or places more primarily than people, for one thing. And you work in black and white. Could you just say a bit about how you arrived at this aesthetic?
电影语言的形成，或者是视觉风格的形成，我觉得，怎么说呢？就是我还想强调一个，就是电影是看作者的，就是作者的节奏，就是人的节奏和人的眼光，其实就是就是作品的眼光。就作品其实是一个呈现，呈现的是人物的作者本身。其实我在很小的时候，就我小时候有的时候看周围，或者是想要讲一个什么事情，或者是习惯的也是像电影这样的一个，就不会过多的去参与，或者是我更习惯于，站在楼上。我们家以前住4楼，我也经常被关在家里头，也出不去，就扒到窗户上看底下。就这个是我的一个习惯可能。所以电影里面的好多就是电影语言或者是角度或者风格，它可能直接就变成这个样子，我觉得舒服。再一个，这个和我就是观片儿有一些关系吧。就是在我电影启蒙的时候，也是我上电影学院的时候，正好，当时看了很多，比如说小津安二郎的电影，或者是侯导演的电影，侯孝贤导演台湾新浪潮的电影，就很多这样的电影，我突然找到了那个感觉，就好像他们的那种语言就是我想要的，我也算是一个借鉴，因为合适，所以我在用。
So how I arrive at such film language in this film is that I want to stress one more time that the rhythms of the film is basically the author himself or herself. So the point of view of the author in terms of looking at things will become the point of view where you can see the film. The film itself will be the presentation of such point of view. And for me personally, when I was young, I was always locked up by my parents in the apartment, and we had an apartment on the 4th floor. So I always look around when I was at home alone and look at the things that's happening downstairs, and became one of my habit in terms of looking at life. I have this point of view that I'm standing at a distance and observing everyone and everything. And such angle and point of view of mine became basically my visual angle, and that I used in such films. But also the film language I used also was influenced by all the films I watched during film school, such as Ozu and Hou Xiaoshen from Taiwan, and a lot of Taiwanese new wave films, and that is also influenced my film language.
而且这个节奏可能也是，东方的一个视角，东方的一个美学的一个就是美学的一个观点吧。
And the rhythms of the film is also very Oriental aesthetics.
对，就像我们前几天去那个大都会，对，看到了中国厅里面有那个中国的卷轴画好多，我觉得是不是美国的朋友也喜欢那东西？就是但是他们是全铺开的，我们以前看可能一点点打开，然后再看后头，他们全展开，所以这个就是我觉得这就是中国人的东方人的视角，就是我把这些他们是没有远近关系或者是景别的，就是全展现给你看，你随便，你想展开都一起看也行，像一点打开看也行，是这样的态度。
So what I view this Oriental point of view is that I recently visited Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I was looking at all the Chinese art in the Chinese department, and they just basically put all the paintings out there, where like Chinese traditional paintings, they fold it into 2 different sides, and then when you are looking at the painting, you open it a little by little, and then you look at the middle, and then unfold it very slowly, and that's how you get to discover the beauty of the painting. But there in the Metropolitan Museum, because of the Western point of view, they just basically unfolded the whole painting and put it in the museum, and that is very surprising to me. And I think that is the difference between Western Eastern aesthetics in a way.
I want to turn it over to the audience in just a moment, but first I wanted to ask you about the rhythm, because I was curious. A number of scenes in the film feel like memories, and sometimes those memories have a dreamlike quality to them. I was wondering to what extent you had the rhythm of the film in mind before you even began shooting, or how much of it emerged during the editing process.
对，我创作之初其实就是这样的想法，包括大家在片中听到那几段音乐，就是拉威尔和德布西他们的就法国印象派的音乐，基本上是和我的这个念头和剧本一起产生的。对，包括剧本，当然剧本的内容肯定要更多一些，就是它情节剧的内容还有，因为我需要在剧本当中把每一个人物，包括事件的结构，我要搭建出来，我才会从中知道我需要留下哪些部分，留下的部分也就是说，很纯粹的，我刚才讲过像梦一样的部分，然后可能就会把那些过于叙事的或者是过于写实或者具象的东西抽出来，就是开始就有这个想法。
So I had this idea from the very beginning when I was trying to create this film. Even when I was writing the film, I had the music in mind. The music I used in the film was basically Ravel and Debussy from French Impressionism. So when I was writing the film, I already have this idea to create this dreamlike effect in this film. And I obviously had to write some drama in terms of putting the plot together. But after I wrote the whole thing, and when I was rethinking it over, I left out the more realistic, more storytelling plots, so that the whole film will come up more dreamlike.
而且我还是有一个野心，就是这个电影其实，没有完全的把我想要的那种梦的味道带出来，因为有的时候，这可能是我的一个毛病，也是从小就有，就是我经常会这个嗅觉特别好，这个嗅觉呢不是闻着什么味儿了，可能嗅觉是感受到什么味道来了，比如说，就这两天北京暖和了，比纽约暖和。北京像是春天已经来了，但是那个春天的味道，我每到春天我就，我都能闻着一股类似以前那种雪花膏的味道，总有那个味道，但是它并不是真实存在的。我觉得这个可能就是人感受上的事情。对呀，但是这个电影很难把嗅觉的感觉拍出来，所以这个表达的可能还不是很准确。
I think I didn't achieve 100% of my ambition in this presentation of the film because I am such a person who is very sensitive to smells. I mean, not like literal smell, but metaphorically, I am very sensitive to the feeling of experiencing an atmosphere. So for example, in Beijing, in March, it's already like spring right now, and every spring in Beijing, I sort of feel the whole city smells like old school female face cream. And I know it's not real, but it's like what I experience in that space, and it's more subjective in my mind. And that to me is what I really want to convey in the film, but I can't, unfortunately.
What has New York smelled like to you?
纽约今天有点雪花膏味儿，因为我一共来了3天，下了1天半的暴雪，我在家吃了2天方便面，在那个宾馆里，没闻着。
Well, Well, today it smells like face cream a little bit because I came here for 3 days, and in the first 2 days I was snowed in the hotel and I was eating instant noodles. And for the last day today, I came out a little bit and it smells like face cream.
But I love New York.
All right, we have time for a couple of audience questions. All right, way in the back. You, yeah.
So the question went, so first she gave a comment, very nice comment, that she thought the smelling part of his imagination was very successfully conveyed in the film because she could smell the thunderstorm in that scene. And her question is, because this is his first film, why did he choose to use black and white instead of color, and why did he change to color at the very last scene?
对，就是您能感觉到那个下雨的那个味儿，我挺高兴的。黑白其实也是我在创作之初，甚至剧本还没有出来的时候，我觉得我决定用黑白色调来拍这部电影，并不是为了怀旧，也不是为了让它能够更和影片所展现的那个年代相靠，而是觉得，就是黑白的那种简单的气质。黑白里面是有光影的，就是黑白电影它的光影会更明显、更凸显，光影会制造我想要的那个梦的感觉，或者是幻觉的那个效果会更强一些。而且黑白它会特别简单，就是我希望这个片子整个的结构或者讲述也像90年代的时候人的气质或者是那个时代的气质是一样的，就是它很简单直接，不会，就是它不会刻意夸大什么，因为色彩它难免会影响人的判断，或者是帮助人去判断。我觉得黑白正好是会起到这个作用。我们拍摄的素材其实是彩色的，我们也做过彩色的版本，但是彩色的会更有代入感，就是它的年代感和会更准确一些。观众看那个会更容易联想到自己的过去，或者是和自己连接起来，但它恰恰就缺少了我刚才说的那个想象的余地。就是体会的余地，也许是彩色的话，那个味道就没有了，味觉就没有，就只是视觉上的正确或者是准确，所以就是黑白的。
So first of all, I'm really happy that you could smell the thunderstorms in that film, and so in order to answer your question for black and white, I have this idea that I want to make this film black and white at the very beginning of my creating process. Before I started writing this film, I had this idea that I want this film to be black and white. And I choose to use black and white not purposely to be nostalgic or purposely to make you feel closer to the 90s as the time. But I chose this because of the simplicity of black and white in terms of this. It lets this light and shading stand out in the film because what you can see in the film is the whole visual effect is very dreamlike and very illusion-like, and that is what I want to achieve. Using color will help or will make the audience make judgment. For example, they will start to feel more relating to the era of the 90s. They will having color will make you feel closer to the time, and that is exactly what I'm not trying to achieve in this film, because I'm trying to achieve the dreamlike effect. I'm also trying to reflect the simplicity of the time, the simplicity of the people in the 90s, that everyone is sort of more straightforward and more simple, and that is why I chose to use black and white.
对，然后还有结尾的彩色，就是结尾其实就是现实了。 结尾不是梦了，前面是梦，结尾是现实，干活去挣钱去吧，这就是现实。
At the very end, I choose to use color because the end is the real life. It's not dream anymore. The real life is you need to get a job and make money.
All right, we have time for one more good one.
The question went, he would like to ask about working with non-professional actors and how the director tried to achieve their best in terms of acting, and also how much of the film was improvisation instead of staging.
我们后来细想，就我们就这些演员都是我朋友，特别好的朋友，就只有朋友才能先不说钱再来干活，我们之间就是这样的，而且也是有信任在，他知道我，他们也知道我肯定也会把钱最后给他们，这就是信任。所以有了信任之后呢，大家就是彼此之间就不会有什么顾忌，就是尽管他们就是从这个表演职业上他们是业余的，但是对于生活来说的话，每个人都很专业。所以说我们之间的工作呢，也不太像是拍戏，只能是说，我把他们带入到这个现场的这个真实的生活当中，然后让他们每一个人就按照自己的习惯，当然也不完全是按照自己啊，那父亲就不一定是自己，他本人的性格不是那样的，就是说我要把他要扮演的人彻彻底底的让他认识了，让他了解了，知道这人到底是什么样，了解了之后他就会去体会，把自己当成那个人物一样，然后再按照自己的习惯生活习惯去表现。所以我们之间的合作是这个样子的。这个其实也就决定了，其实即兴的成分很大。我的剧本里面没有很具体的有台词或者是每一场的具体的行为，我只是描述了一个情境，可能描述情境的笔墨要比描写人的笔墨要多得多。对，我希望他们是知道在这一场戏生活是什么样子的，就是我们都会有自己的判断，生活是这个样子，那么你该怎么做，那就按照你的理解去做，这是我们的合作。
So most of the non-professional actors in the film are my friends. Only friends can start doing the job without payment. They also trust me that I will pay them afterwards. And for acting, these people are non-professionals. However, for life, everyone is professional and they have their own judgment in terms of what real life looks like. So our way of collaboration is more like I introduce them, I lead them into this real life on set, that I tell them who the characters are, what the scene is like. I probably wrote more about the scenes than I wrote about the characters. I didn't have much of the lines written out yet. So a lot of our collaboration was actually improvisation. And I introduce these characters to these actors, and they will make their own judgment with their own habit in life, because everyone has their own judgment of what such a character would behave in such a scene. And that is pretty much how we collaborated.
Well, I think you have to catch a flight, so we should end there, but thank you.
谢谢 ，Thank you very much， 谢谢大家。